Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 188 of the GenGaming podcast. I'm your host, as always. I am Tyler, and joining me, we have the Colonel, one of my best friends in the whole wide world. We have the Jack of Hearts. We have Gables. What's up, buddy?
Oh, man. I am finally relaxed after a long-ass week. A little bit of a cold. I've built a freaking cubby thing for my room. I've rearranged a lot of furniture in my room. I've just basically done a lot of shit, and finally I feel relaxed. So I'm doing pretty good right now.
Nice.
How about you, Tyler?
I'm doing alright, man. I woke up a little bit with a bit of a sore throat going on.
Yeah.
Some family members were dealing with the cold and the flu.
Oh my god, man. That kind of sounds like my family and I. I mean, I woke up like yesterday with like a piercing sinus headache. Got off of work, then all of a sudden going through the day, now I'm sneezing and I'm fucking like having a running nose. It's like, oh
yeah. So I'm right now. I'm trying to kill it with alcohol. I'm not sure if it's working, but I definitely feel better. It's been a long.
Give some Fireball whiskey.
I don't feel any better now. I feel worse. I'd rather have a cold than drink Fireball whiskey. Holy shit.
Oh,
beer ain't bad though. But I'm doing all right. Otherwise, long work week. But Saturday night, recording the show. We actually got Monday off.
Yeah.
At work because of MLK Day, so that's nice. Look forward to that. But Justin is not here this week. He is busy. Apparently, his wife and kids is more important than this podcast. So.
Yeah, the dick.
What a douchebag. Fuck that guy. He's fired. Justin, if you're listening to this, you're fired. So, no, you're fine, buddy. You can come back.
We do this out of loving and kindness. Anyway.
I don't want to go that far. No. He's got stuff going on, so he's busy this week, which sucks. It's like we could have called this. I should have put if Vegas is putting betting lines down on Justin missing this week, I should have betted everything I own that he wouldn't be here, because it's whenever Nintendo announces something, he's not here.
Oh, I know, right? He has a track record now. Like, anytime something major Nintendo-related happens, he ain't here, and he's one of the biggest fans.
It's the third time in a row now, that he's missed something with the big Nintendo. I think actually probably more than that. He missed a couple directs, I think, too, actually.
Yeah.
Which no fault of his own, but it's so funny that, this is like the Justin podcast, and he's not here for it. So, he's probably gonna, when he hears this podcast, I expect a very long message from him, but I do have his opinions. I told him to send me what his thoughts were via text, and I didn't realize there were gonna be 20 text messages of opinions, but I got them.
Oh yeah, that's Justin, all right.
Yeah, so I have them. So I'll let you guys know as this show is pretty much just gonna be Switch talk. We might talk about some other things on top of that, but depending on, we'll just see how the show goes. We'll go from there on it. But should we just jump into the Switch?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So Thursday night, super late my time, not 10 p.m. Nintendo had the presentation for the Nintendo Switch, showing it off, a little over an hour long. We're gonna break it down a little bit. I'm not sure 100% how this is gonna all go. There's a lot of information that came out afterwards on top of it, and things like that. But let's talk about just the overall thoughts before we jump into some other things. What were your overall thoughts on the presentation itself?
Oh, okay. I thought the presentation itself was kind of horrible, to be perfectly honest with you. The thing about this presentation, which sort of deterred me from pre-ordering the Nintendo Switch, are a couple of the factors here. For one, the system itself looks like it's mostly, at launch, going to be Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild up until the holiday season when Mario Odyssey comes out. I do not want to spend, at this point in time, $300 for a system only to play Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and then afterwards waiting all that time. I've done this time and time before at Nintendo launches. I did it for the DS. I've done it for the GameCube. I've done it for the Wii and the Wii U and the 3DS. I am so sick of this freaking, like, drought stuff. You can argue during those times, I was a bit younger. I was going through high school or going through things at college. I was doing other stuff, but at this point, I'm pretty close to my early 30s now. I'm working 40 hours a week. I do not want just to buy something willy-nilly for $300 if I'm not going to use it every day. That's just the thing about me.
Or at least, more than a couple weeks out of the year.
That's very true. Hell, the Xbox One S, the PS4 to a certain extent, I use all those every day for, like, everyday uses, like, say, watching things on YouTube or Hulu or Netflix, or if I want to play a little bit of Rocket League here and there, hey, I can do that. But the thing about the presentation that kind of struck me as sort of odd is, one, the miscommunication issues through the translators. That was kind of odd. That was fucking odd.
That was awesome.
At one point, here's the thing. It was so bad, the translation stuff, that literally this guy that was talking tried to explain what they're doing. He basically had a fucking brain freeze moment or something like that, where he was trying to interpretate one of the
Suda 51.
Suda 51s, but the guy sounded like he quit like halfway through. Like he did not want to be there. He sounded so monotone and so fucking like angry while he was trying to go forth and decipher what these developers were talking about, that I just that just made me feel kind of just sad just listening to it.
It was a very awkward 2 minutes.
It was an awkward 2 minutes, and inside of the presentation itself, it was kind of awkward in terms of the presentational style. Because here you have, like, Kimishima, the president of Nintendo, in front of, like, the live audience and stuff, just giving his first thing. This is, like, one of his first public appearances over the span of, like, in general, for presentation. And I just got the feeling, I got the feeling by watching this presentation that, oh my god, old Nintendo, when they're doing their press conferences, how weird, how stupid a lot of the things can be. And throughout the presentation stuff, it cuts to a couple of points and stuff where they're going through Nintendo of Europe, having their representative and stuff like that talk, and then you obviously get back to Nintendo of America, you have Reggie talk a bit or something like that, and at some point, he's in the Nintendo world, like, in New York City and stuff like that, with Shigeru Miyamoto and Aonuma doing their whole Switch presentational thing for the next day. And they literally only panned it out to Reggie in all three of those things just to talk about a couple minute things for Zelda.
Yeah.
And they never came back to it. They never came back to, like, anything else. That was pointless.
It was completely unnecessary. It was just like, let's get these... I understand you want to get them in there, and it's just like... But it's just like the troll and hold off a little bit longer to announce the release date for Zelda. It's all.
Another thing I had issue with the presentation. They overcomplicated things in terms of their explanations for their Joy-Con controllers. I don't give a shit about the whole the gyroscope things. I know Justin really likes the motion controls and, like, the whole gyroscope things for the Wii and things about the Wii U. Personally, in my honest opinion, I don't give a shit. I personally don't give a shit because it's like you have their whole thing they're touting is like this whole HD Rumble stuff. I mean, yeah, that's kind of cool. Like feeling like when you're pouring something or feeling how many ice cubes there are in a cup. That's the literal comparison that the guy made in just introducing these stupid little Joy-Con separate controller stuff. And the thing about, gosh, the thing about the the whole explanations of like the motion control stuff, it's like it just made me feel sort of the way of how certain toy makers, like, they make this certain gimmick for their toys, and then once they release it on there, the kid probably plays with it for maybe not even 10 or 15 minutes and gets bored of it and does something next.
Yeah.
Like, the good example of it is when they introduced one of their new games, 1-2 Switch. I mean, a new IP.
That's my thoughts on it.
It's basically not a video game. It's like a toy laser tag sort of thing, you know, where it's like, that's basically what it is in a nutshell.
But Gables, you can milk a cow in this game.
Oh yeah, I can milk a cow. I can also go ahead and use jack off motions and stuff there. They'd have the same effect. But
it's true. You could just jack off instead, actually be way more pleasurable than playing that game.
And probably a lot more entertaining than 1-2 Switch in the long run. But
I'd rather watch myself jack off than play that game. Sorry.
Well, the positive things I could say about the presentation is I love the introductions for The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild towards the end of the presentation. I loved that trailer. That trailer was fantastic. I also really love the trailer for Super Mario Odyssey. We've only got little hints of a new Mario game from the Switch's presentation. Which, you know, with the first presentation when they did their Nintendo Direct on that thing, that was a lot better in terms of explanation than how they did for this presentation, you know, for the price points and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, when they revealed Super Mario Odyssey, it felt like watching Super Mario 64 just evolve into, like, this open world sort of miasma of, like, literal awesomeness. How things are so detailed in terms of where you can explore, what you can do. Mario's literally in a forest, and I'm thinking to myself, oh my god, dude, this is a lush-looking, awesomely realistic forest that he's going through, and then you have the weird-ass moments and stuff where you're exploring this New York-inspired city, and you see, like, actual people from the real world, and all of a sudden you see Mario just look up at this one dude, it's like, what the fuck, dude? Am I tripping on something?
Yeah, it felt...
was Miyamoto
That was the closest thing
something?
ever being on acid for me. I was watching that trailer.
Dude, it's kind of like comparison to that one Simpsons episode and stuff, this Halloween episode where you have the 2D animation, all of a sudden you have Homer in 3D, and it just looks so freaking jarring. That's Mario in the real world, in that New Donk City level. That's exactly what it's called.
Great name.
It's a weird-ass name, a New Donk City. But I don't give a shit about... I don't really give a crap and stuff about, like, the name of it. I just love the fact that I'm going to be able to explore a Mario game where it feels like a natural evolution of Super Mario 64, where I'm left with wonderment and want to explore every nook and cranny, seeing if I find all these various secrets and stuff. I mean, Super Mario Sunshine, honestly, I feel is better in terms of, like, certain quality and, like, certain, like, explorational type of stuff than, say, Super Mario 64, but there were some things about Sunshine which were very difficult, and some things that were kind of broken, kind of like how one of those pinball levels or something like that from Super Mario Sunshine, where it's incredibly hard to navigate because of the weird-ass camera angles. Mm-hmm. But another positive about the Nintendo Switch's presentation from Thursday, the date of it actually being released. March 3rd. I was not expecting it to be that early. I expected it to at least be middle of the month.
I was thinking at best it'd be like the last week of the month.
I would have thought that too.
I was honestly, part of me was wondering if it would get delayed.
I thought it might too. They actually increased it. And to be perfectly honest with you, I'm kind of thinking if they are doing this to release The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, you know, maybe that game, being in development so long, had to push their hand to release the Switch this early when they have a lot of games that are clearly not ready to be presented at launch right at the moment. Because here's the thing that we got here. For actual confirmed launch games for Nintendo Switch, obviously we have The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. We have what was it, 1-2 Switch. We have a couple of other games as well. And it's just basically like, say, 4 or 5 actual games that are quite honestly a lot weaker than what the Wii U launched as. I mean, you can make the argument that the launch of the Wii U was honestly better in terms of what they're doing right now with their newest console handheld hybrid with the Switch, where you can at least say that they had different types of third parties available other than, say, like, you know, they had Ninja Gaiden 3, Razor's Edge, they had Mass Effect 3, they had, oh gosh, I'm not even sure. They actually had, like, what, Zombie U or something like that.
Yep.
Whereas the only major freaking, the only major, like, maybe third-party games that they unveiled in this presentation was a port of Skyrim, not the HD remastered version.
Yeah, which also comes out in fall. It's not even a launch game.
No, that's the thing. It's not even a launch game. It's the original Skyrim that was on the 360 and the PS3. The only difference is it's portable. Yeah. I mean, what the fuck?
Which somebody actually was talking to pointed out that if you own a laptop, it was already portable. So.
Yeah, exactly. You can actually get the same portability factor if you buy it on Steam. If you actually have like a miniature like laptop or something that's strong enough to run the game, you can literally take it anywhere, play a couple games of like an hour or two or something while you're waiting and like waiting for some type of shit or something like that at the office.
And it'll probably be better because it's on Steam.
And here's the kicker of this thing. They have a representative from EA come fly all the way out there to Japan. And what's the game that they present? FIFA.
Yeah.
FIFA.
But
game.
But he named his firstborn son's middle name is Luigi. Come on.
Oh my god, the corporate bullshit from that one line was just intolerable, man. It's like, here's the thing about EA with Nintendo and stuff like that. On the Wii, EA actually had some great games that they did release on it. Originally, great games. Boom Blocks, Bash Party and stuff. Those games were fantastic, in my honest opinion.
Steven Spielberg made a game for the Wii. That's how popular the Wii was.
And then here's the thing, though. It's like when the Wii U came out and stuff like that, you had maybe like 1 or 2 games like in the first year of the Wii U when they just took every bit of support away from that system. And it truly feels like it's the same thing where they don't want to bring Madden onto the Switch. They don't want to bring Titanfall 2 or freaking Battlefield or whatever the fuck. They're just going to bring one game and it's probably going to sell the most in terms of like longevity. FIFA is basically the type of game that sells on every platform.
Yeah. But
and it mostly sells a lot in other countries other than the US. Basically.
It's the most popular sports game by far in the entire world, but that's mainly because of Europe.
So meaning, even when they release it on the Switch, the whole thing is not going to even be remotely, like, say, as beneficial for Nintendo, certain-wise, because most people are going to buy it on other systems, and at the same time, it's not really going to matter sales-wise for the Switch version, considering that all the other places you could buy the game on. Man, it's just really disappointing to see Nintendo stumble out of the gate with still a lot of these third-party concerns, which that's dogged them for now 20-something years. And I was really hopeful with a lot of what Nintendo Switch, when they initially presented it, what the concept was, which is basically a console handheld type of hybrid stuff where you take the thing on the go and you play your games and stuff like that for anywhere between like 3 to 8 hours depending on game or something like that. Like that's weird.
2 to 6 hours, yeah, but closer to the 2 than the 6 if you're playing an actual Switch game, not a virtual console game.
Oh my gosh. But it just kind of leaves me with the thing. It's like, I really do not feel like I want to invest in the Switch right now, you know? Even when it does come out, I was literally at a point when I was at GameStop, I had my copy of Final Fantasy 15 that I was getting for the PS4, because guess what? My friend Tyler here, he actually gave me his old PS4, which that's awesome.
Yeah.
That is fucking awesome. And while I was in line and stuff, paying for my game, the cashier helping me asks me the question or something like that I didn't even think twice about it. It's like, hey, do you want to order the Nintendo Switch? Everything else is like, they still had pre-orders and stuff like that. I just looked them dead in the face like, no, not really. That's significant. That's the first time that I've actually went through a major Nintendo console launch or something like that, and I did not even have an inkling, not even one iota, of fucking pre-ordering it or buying it day one. And that's been... I have not done that since literally the launch of the Nintendo 64.
Damn.
All the way up. I didn't get a Nintendo 64 until like a year after it released. But the GameCube, the DS, the 3DS, the Wii... Actually, for the 3DS, I had it 3 days before its launch date. Damn. Because of the whole Coast Guard shit. I even had a Wii U at launch. And and yet, I look at the Nintendo Switch, I know I'm going to be playing the games that are going to be on it eventually. I want to play Zelda. I want to play Splatoon. I want to play this weird-ass Bomberman game that they fucking, like, got from Konami, which... Can we just say this right now, that Konami is actually releasing a fucking game on a console?
Yeah.
Digitally?
What the fuck's going on with that? That's weird. I figured they...
I mean, yeah, they own the IP from Hudson Soft and stuff like that, but still, that was fucking weird.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's like, it is not tempting whatsoever. And I'm kind of interested to see, commercially, how well the system sells in the span of a month. Because it probably may be like sell pretty good the initial couple weeks, but I really feel like this is another Wii U. This is terrible.
Yeah.
I feel like the whole presentation of what they labeled to the freaking device as is just completely horrible in the way that they presented it. And not only that, after the whole presentation, Nintendo on their actual website posted what these accessories for this device is going to cost.
Ooh, baby.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh man, just the good times keep on rolling. $70
for a Pro controller, $80 for Joy-Con controllers.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. $70 for a Pro controller. They don't even charge... They charge like, what, $40, $50 or something like that for their Wii U Pro controllers. Yeah. And that's just basically an Xbox 360 console, controller ripoff. This is the
same thing, too, yeah.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Why is it $70? Do they not trust how much cost it's going to be if someone buys
Maybe they just know that no one's
shit?
going to buy it, so they figured less people are going to... They know not a lot of people are going to buy it, so make as much money off those dumbasses that are going to buy it.
No, I'll tell you what people are not going to buy. They're not going to buy an individual Joy-Con controller for $50. That's for sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So here's the thing with the accessories, real quick. You can buy a left and a right for $80, or like a 2-pack for $80, or you can buy a left or a right individually for $50 a piece. So that's your options. Which, why even sell them individually? I don't understand that. It's so fucking dumb. I guess maybe if you break one or something, or you lose one, you can buy a replacement. But I don't know.
Well, here's the thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Tyler.
Oh, I was gonna go to my spiel, but you continue.
Okay, so here's exactly what you would probably have to do day one if you get this Wii U, not the Wii U, but the Switch.
Wii U.
You pay $300. You get the $300 to buy a bundle, one of two bundles. One bundle. I mean, both bundles don't even have any fucking games.
Nope.
That's terrible. But one bundle has gray Joy-Con controllers, and the other bundle has a red Joy-Con and a blue Joy-Con.
Yeah.
So they don't even decide on one color. They just go and mix and match it like a fucking Rainbow Sherbert shit for one console. Mm-hmm. Oh man, I personally was not expecting in the span of like a 20-something years or something like that. So man, I'd be like, really ripping on a Nintendo for, like, presentation stuff, considering how much of a fan I was for this company and stuff like that for a long time. But I gotta give this thing its due. I gotta rip this shit a new one here. So you're paying $300 for Nintendo Switch at launch. Now let's say you want to go and get the Pro Controller. That's another $70.
Yep.
What if you want to get an extra... Say you want to get an extra dock or something like that to go and put in your room. That's another $30. But you don't even have any games. You don't even have any games for the system yet. Actually. You want to get Zelda. That's another $60.
$460.
That's just a thing. Maybe you want to get... Or maybe, just maybe, you want to go ahead and like connect online to this device. Oh yeah. Here's the thing. The online for this device... is going to launch in the fall.
Well,
it's a beta test.
The online is going to be free for like 6 months or so, and then you got to pay for it. Yeah.
But then you have to use an app in order to communicate with people.
Yeah,
dude.
Oh,
we were communicating
for
oh my god, for console gaming. We've been able to communicate online with people since PS2 and Xbox One.
Yeah,
we're literally playing games.
We've had party chat since 2005. We've been able to use our...
God.
It's...
I have never seen such ass-backwards logic to this.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to use a fucking smartphone in order to try to get through and just chat and schedule people, like, for how to play times. I want to go onto Facebook or something like that, maybe, like... arrange some of my friends, since that's an easier method for me to do, and I want to go through and just invite people to a party and stuff like that on PS4 or Xbox One.
Yeah.
And I want to play some fucking Overwatch or play some Rocket League or Battlefield 1.
Yeah, there's... man, god damn it. I'm going to read through Justin's stuff real quick, because there's a lot.
Okay, do that.
And then I'll jump into what I got to say. If Justin's... Justin, he might have rage quitted about 15 minutes ago. But if not, I'm going to go through some of his stuff.
Oh my god, the reply to my comments. I could just see it now.
We're gonna get like on our Facebook messaging thing, we're gonna get like a fucking 6,000 word rant from him. He's so mad at us right now. To be fair, I haven't read his 20 texts he sent me, so I'm looking at my phone right now. I'm gonna read them for the very first time. Oh boy. Woo. Tatsumi seems like a kind and gentle man, also a troll with a Zelda release date. I don't know what the hell some of this stuff says. It could be all over the place. I don't really know. I was surprised that it was $300 just because of all the rumors. That is the price I would like. 1-2 Switch threw me off at first and still kind of does, but I am excited to get my hands on it. In parentheses, he put drinking fun game. Extremely impressed with the tech of the in the Joy-Con. Every Nintendo game
that's to be expected.
Playable on this thing, perhaps the Virtual Boy, which no.
Wait, what? The Virtual Boy?
Every Nintendo system is playable on this thing, perhaps the Virtual Boy. So he's hoping that Virtual Boy games will be playable on this console.
Could you just imagine, like, fucking playing those games now or something, like on the Switch or something with all their red, all the tint and stuff like that?
20 years ago. I don't want to play them now. What the fuck?
Hey, yeah, exactly, dude.
Very surprised with some of the better version Wii-like possibilities of the system. Just makes for so many things a possibility. I am really excited to get my hands on ARMS. It looked so fun to me. Perhaps a lot of depth.
I'll give him that. That actually did look pretty fun.
It could be okay. I'll talk about that in a minute. Part 2. Mario Odyssey looks stunning and basically blew my mind, maybe more than Zelda in some ways. I thought after Galaxies and 3D World that would be hard to do. I don't think I felt that way since Mario 64 came out in terms of wow. I don't know if he means World of Warcraft or just wow. The biggest lows were the length of the 1-2 Switch reveal and the words from the devs part. I agree with the 1-2 Switch reveal. It went on way too long. I think he means it wasn't long enough, but fuck that thing. They bottlenecked the flow, in my opinion. The worst thing to me about the whole thing was the announcement of Nintendo Online. Yes, I don't really know all the details yet. You get a lengthy free trial, but paid subscription if you only play online in general it kind of rubs me the wrong way. To me, the Wii U was fine in that regards. I guess maybe necessary business-wise. We shall see. The online and the Wii U was garbage to me.
The rental games. Only getting like an NES and Super Nintendo game for a trial period of a month and then not being able to retain them.
Oh, no, you can retain them. You just got to pay money for them after that. On top of the money you're already paying for playing online, which is even worse, I think, than what PS and Xbox Live do.
We don't even know how much they want to charge for their online service yet. That's the scary part.
Yeah. Overall, I thought it was quite solid. I'm a little concerned about its launch lineup, but I feel like there's a nice steady flow of games. Ones that aren't announced will help. It needs a Zombie U or something at launch, though maybe that's just me. I'll agree with that part. That's the big thing I've been saying for a long time is, hey, you always hear games like Sony or Xbox or whoever, when they talk about a game coming or a system coming out, they say, we got 30 games at launch, and then you don't hear shit from them for 6 months. This, at least, there is a, to quote Justin, a nice steady flow of games for at least till through the holidays. But there's just not a plethora of games to play, I think, that would make it worth buying, at least third-party wise. Last thing, the Mario Odyssey and Zelda trailer were the best trailers for video games I have ever seen, period.
I actually kind of agree with Justin in that regard. I don't even know if that was special.
I don't know. I don't agree with that at all. At least from what I recall, definitely the best Nintendo trailer ever to me. Maybe go with you on the Zelda one on that. I have 2 Switches pre-ordered, LOL. I am ready to play Zelda. I'm so excited.
Of course he has 2.
Yeah.
He has fucking 2 of them pre-ordered, dude.
Yeah.
That's typical Justin. I love it.
Yeah. After 6 years of searching, Breath of the Wild is less than 2 months away. Ha 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 ha. Can't wait. Smiley face. I'm gonna Switch it hard. Fuck you, Justin, for making a Switch. Trying to make a Switch pun there. We've had too many in my lifetime already after Thursday. And one last thing. After he already said 2 texts ago, one last thing. A tip to third-party devs for Switch. If you want a game to sell on it, make sure it's something new. Make sure it's not a third game or a second in a trilogy. Make sure it runs great. Doesn't have to be the best looking version, but it has to run smoothly and have all the features.
Yeah.
If one of those things is forgotten, don't release it. Yes, there will be exceptions with Skyrim. Will probably be just fine, but BioShock 2, oh hey yeah. So that's Justin's comments on his Nintendo Switch presentation.
And now we switch it to Tyler.
Woo, baby! So the Nintendo Switch presentation. I am almost completely 100% on board with you. I might be a little farther more in the negative side than you, actually.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, this sucked, dude. This, to me, I have not been this excited or optimistic about Nintendo in like 8 years. Once I realized the Wii was a bad console. And I bought the Wii U. I like the Wii U. I like the games on it. But like what we were talking about, like that fucking thing just sits around. Like I haven't bought a game for this thing in almost 2 years. Like
I know.
Like Splatoon 2 is the last game I bought for it.
This presentation almost matches bit by bit from when Sony did their PS3 things in E3 of that 2006 and how much of a fucking debacle that shit was. This is Nintendo doing it modern day 2017, doing almost exactly the same type of shit.
Yeah, or like
that is fucking hilarious.
Or maybe like what Microsoft did with Xbox One in 2013.
There you go. Not as bad as the extent, because at least they didn't like. At least they're not going to go back on every bit of their console things like Microsoft. Hey yo.
Yeah.
But
those were fixable issues. But yeah, I mean this. I don't know. I thought this should have been direct. I think. I wish it was a direct instead. Like,
I wanted to be a direct, dude.
Should have been tighter, a little faster. Like they did like these weird, awkward. Like it's the thing I hate about E3. It's the thing I bitch about all the time. Like I think Nintendo does E3s up until this last year with what they did with the Treehouse stuff was perfect. Yeah. They just did a direct. It was like boom, 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 boom. You never got. They spent a little bit. They spent a decent amount of time with the big stuff and a little bit of time with the other stuff, so you never got bored with it. They always moved on to the next thing. This thing did all the shit where it's like, we're gonna introduce this person and this person, and they're gonna talk for 2-3 minutes and not say a fucking thing. And that's what this whole thing was to me.
They had literally like developers up there just talking about how the Nintendo Switch is so nice and stuff like that. You had the Sega representative just talking, didn't even show shit.
Yeah, he just talked about like they're just gonna make shit for it. Cool. Why are you?
Yeah, we're gonna make games for the Nintendo Switch.
You're showing us.
Pan over to the next person.
Yeah. You got like the Travis Touchdown guy, whatever. They even making a game with Travis Touchdown, but there's not even a name for it.
Suda51.
Yeah, and then you got like
Suda51, like making references to No More Heroes and Travis Touchdown.
Yeah,
and they botched up his translation so bad where people thought it was like No More Heroes 3.
Yeah,
you know,
and then they got like showing off Square Enix shit. Doesn't even, like showing off games don't have titles. I don't know. It just. The whole thing I thought was bad. Like it just, and it was it was worse than most E3 presentations to me. Where it's just
oh my god,
they weren't showing anything, and like they spend time talking about shit, but they wouldn't tell you things, or they just keep telling you the same thing over and over again about the fucking Switch. Like we get it, we know what it does. We were
over explaining.
Show us the games. Make me want to buy this thing, and you didn't sell me
exactly.
This I'll give it. It's not as bad as the Wii U. In the sense that it has Zelda.
Oh no.
That's the one saving grace of this thing is Zelda. It's not the console, it's Zelda. Which you can get on the Wii U. But it's just going to be nicer looking on the Switch.
It's just like it's just exactly what what I kind of feel, you know? And I like, even like watching guys like say Colin Moriarty like talk more about this in depth yesterday, which, you know what, by the way, listeners and stuff like that, if you really want to hear some more in-depth like Switch talk and stuff like that, just by all means, the kind of funny guys and stuff like that, they made an excellent sort of after presentation things for the Nintendo Switch and all this other stuff, especially Colin Moriarty and stuff. And I kind of like his analysis with it comes to, say, like combining the whole thing about the Nintendo Switch and stuff. And oh man, I lost my train of thought.
No, you're right. But no, I support those guys on Patreon. I haven't watched the video yet. Jim Sterling and them did some videos. I'm waiting. I'm going to watch it till after. I was going to wait till after this podcast to watch them. I'll probably watch them tomorrow. But yeah, I'm curious to see what they think about it. But I imagine it's not positive.
But
they're like, it's just, yeah, I'm sure I am. Like the price point is, I think, is really good. March 3rd, I'm fine with. Battery life part doesn't really affect me because I have no plans of playing this game ever outside of home. Paid online service, which at the time I'm like, okay. That's okay. I'm fine with that. And then you hear the shit afterwards about like, oh, like you get these games for 1 month only, and that's it. Like I said earlier, this is worse than PS and Xbox Live, where like you just own those games forever. Like I download those games and it's mine forever.
That's just the thing. If you try to present a service where it's like you're giving away a rental thing and stuff for free games for like a month and keep taking it back, that's so ass backwards in comparison to getting a game that you paid a service for and keeping that license until that thing expires.
Yeah.
You know, that's... Ugh.
Now, I doubt they're going to give us good games, like really great. I mean, maybe we'll get one like in the beginning, but after that, I doubt we're going to get like... it's going to be NES and Super Nintendo games, and that's what we're going to get for a month.
At this point, they're highly expecting people to go through the virtual consoles shit. If they're going to have all these other console games available from like NES all the way up again and have people try to rebuy them again... There better be some fucking discount stuff, because that's just the thing. Yeah, at least with the Wii U, you can give it a little bit of the doubt. If you bought the VC games on Wii, they give you some price cuts. But anyway, go on ahead, Tyler.
Yeah, if you bought those games on the Wii, you can for $1 you can upgrade them to your Wii U, and we don't know what it's going to be. Maybe that will be the case for the Switch. Or like, hey, you bought these games on the Wii U or the Wii or whatever for $1 you can upgrade, which I can live with. It's $1, whatever. But
I could do that right now. You know, save for the N64 for Mario Kart 64. I could spend like $2 because I bought it on the Wii Virtual Console. You know,
if they try charging full price for that shit again, that's bullshit to me. You know,
agreed.
You consider the Wii U, and the 3DS. Now we're on the Switch. You know, it's fucked up at this point. With like I said, the pay online service, like, and the fact that I have to use a smart device, like a phone to use as a voice chat, like, fuck you guys. Why am I paying you for online service when I have to use my phone, a different device to play to communicate with my friends. Fuck you. I will find another way to do it because I'm not going to pay you to do that. Like, but
you know how people did this before? It's like did you know how people gamers did this before when they had Nintendo consoles requiring fucking friend codes and shit like that?
Yeah.
They use Skype.
Skype, yeah, or like we would like. I remember one time we played online. We used PS4 chat. Like, what the fuck?
Exactly.
Like, really? And it sucks now. We got to pay online. If this thing is like $50 a year, fuck you. Like, really?
Exactly. No
this
real
is
benefit.
So
whatsoever.
much worse than PSN and Xbox Live to me.
So far, yeah.
And then, like, they got rid of the Miiverse, which sucks. I think the Miiverse was actually a really cool thing. It's actually one of my favorite things about the Wii U was Miiverse. It's just unfortunate that there wasn't, like, this thing, the Wii U wasn't more popular, because I think the Miiverse can be a super cool thing. So, yeah, you're going to be able to take screenshots and eventually take video. That's cool. I'm not going to complain about that at all.
That's cool, I guess. I could do it on the other consoles, so...
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to complain about it, because I want them to do more things that the other consoles can do, you know?
Yeah.
I'm not complaining about too much, whatever. The gyro control shit is back, the motion control stuff, and like we said, Justin loves that shit, but I hate that stuff.
Did you see how much they were charging for the show?
It just blows my mind, like, you guys, like, you guys trying to, like, redo, like, the Wii was a lightning in a bottle situation. That's what it was.
And they're trying to advertise the shit of it like it's the Wii again.
Yeah, and like so they made the Wii U thinking they can just get lightning in a bottle twice, and it backfired big time on them. And then fucking the Wii U, cool console with some great games, but it didn't sell. And you know and then they try to do it again now with the motion controls again on the Switch, and it's just and then we're getting these gimmicky bullshit games like 1-2 Switch. Fuck that game. That should be a packing game. You're gonna charge me $50 for that game? Fuck you. That's how I feel about that.
No one, their goddamn honest to God mind is going to spend $60 on 1-2 Switch if it ain't a pack-in game.
Yeah.
That is stupid.
ARMS looks like it could be kind of cool. Comes out in the spring. That game's going to be full $60. Unless there's like a lot of shit to that game. If it's no more than just that, what we saw there's not much more to it. That's bullshit too. That shit sucked. Like, it was so like the first 20-25 minutes of that thing was so crushing. Like it's I feel like compare it to is like it's like kind of like losing your virginity. Where like for years you anticipate it and you're so excited for it and you're so optimistic about it. It's like I can't wait to have sex. And then you have sex and it's like 2-3 minutes. It's over. You're like, okay, well, I've had sex. And it's like, cool. All right. Well, that was a cool thing. You know, it's over. I'm sitting here, sticky. It's okay. And that's kind of what it was. It was kind of like this was the same thing for like in video game terms. And then like they announced the price and the date, and I'm like, all right, this is a great start to the presentation. And then they went right into the 1-2 Switch and ARMS. I'm like, okay,
that's so funny.
This is getting disappointing. Go ahead.
I like your comparison, Tyler. It's like Nintendo did this huge build-up and stuff like that, and then they came prematurely.
Yeah, that's what it was. Exactly what it was. And it was just like the Splatoon 2 coming out in the summer. That's going to be awesome. Like, and then Mario Odyssey. I don't know what the fuck that is. That's weird. It could be awesome. I'm hopeful for it. It's crazy. There's really no reason to buy this console until at the earliest Splatoon 2 to me. Like, if you have a Wii U, just get Zelda on that, I guess. I say that, but I have it pre-ordered.
I know, right?
I have more money than sense at this point.
Honestly, I don't see any use of buying this console until like November.
Yeah,
seriously, like say Super Mario Odyssey.
Yeah, I mean,
Nintendo's got to go back to the drawing board and redo a lot of shit because I do not trust this console right now. I'll play its games when it releases in the holiday.
It's just this whole presentation and everything they're announcing about this shit afterwards. It just feels like it's like, hey, we're changing, but we're kind of doing the same things that you didn't like about us in the first place. You know, it's like, hey, we're doing online. We're gonna have a better online service, but you gotta use a smartphone device. It's like, hey, we're combining the handheld and everything together, but we're keeping the bullshit gyro shit with it. It's It's like, hey guys, we're doing this, but it's just it's like everything they announce is like one step forward, and then they like say something more about the thing they announced, and there's like 2 steps back.
Yep.
And it's crushing to me. Like I don't want to make this like the shit on the Nintendo Switch thing, because the game is in the end for me the games are going to sell. But to me, like it's just another Wii U. It's just that's all it's going to be to me. Like so far.
Now you see, at least when it comes to like say Nintendo Switch and in their whole conference and stuff like that. I mean, they obviously were monitoring social media and the reactions by lots of people after this thing. So even though this presentation was a major fucking misstep for them, it's not enough to say trash the console internally or something like that to make it an objectionable failure or something like that. But this is really kind of like a cause for concern to them, try to reevaluate what the hell they're doing and stuff, and fix a lot of it, because come time for this game, like the system to be launched, I really do not expect this thing to sell like hotcakes, like say their classic NES shit.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I've asked around, and there are literally retail people who tell me that system, that classic NES thing, is probably not going to be restocked and probably until maybe summer. I mean, that is stupid. They are so ass backwards with the terms they deal with things. It's basically Nintendo doing their fucking Nintendo shit. They always gotta be the weird, quirky uncle or something that just doesn't do anything normal. Let's say he wants to go forth and he wants to build a fucking fence. What does he do? He doesn't use fucking, like, nails or something like that. He uses fucking crazy glue in order to fucking use his fucking fence. Yeah, it looks all like shit. It may be
spits
strong.
On a block of wood and says, that'll work, and sticks it up there. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just like, I don't want him to, like, I'm not asking Nintendo to be more like the PS4, the Xbox One, but, you know, I don't have a problem with this. Like, take the shit that, like, from that people like, and you want to be more successful and do the things like you know, and do the things you want to be more of a console maker. You want to keep doing that. Like, there's nothing wrong with taking things that other people have done and attaching it to your thing, like,
because you know,
with good online support.
Exactly.
You know,
it's like, you want to know why like services like Xbox Live and PSN have been around for so long? Because those services work for what they do. You can find people, you can chat, you can do party things. With Nintendo, with their services, they don't even have that basic nature down. It's always got to be some fucking weird thing. And by the way they've worded their announcements, it totally sounds like you got to do everything within a fucking smartphone app.
Yeah,
I don't want that.
My thing with Nintendo is that they would rather be different than successful.
Even if the thing totally makes sense and possibly could work, because hey, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
But the problem is, at this point, I think it might be broke, because, like, I mean, I'm not gonna say that, like, I don't want to be all doom and gloom, because maybe they can, like, right now, I think this thing will be really successful in the beginning, like the Wii U was, and the Wii was. Maybe not even the Wii was. Wii was like a fucking huge, like nothing we've ever seen before in gaming. But at least like the Wii U was, where it's gonna sell really well in the first couple months. And then, I mean, I don't know how it might have some spikes here and there with some big games coming out. But I mean, from what we know right now, I don't see what. It's going to make it huge. I mean, at the very least, maybe when the 3DS dies out, people will go towards this. They kind of keep that handheld mentality to it.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
That might be a thing for it, but I don't know if it's going to be enough to make up for no longer having a handheld on the market and I mean, kind of, you're combining two things into one. I don't know if it's going to be able to make up for both. Maybe bigger than that. So, I don't know, man. It's frustrating. Just kind of looking at this, it just kind of feels tone deaf in a way, where it's like, hey, we hear you, but we don't really want to go all on board with these things.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. And while you were talking, I kind of remembered what exactly that was going to say in terms of what I was listening to Colin Moriarty, in terms of, like, say, the Breath of the Wild, Legend of Zelda, kind of making Nintendo show their hand a little bit soon about the Switch, because here's the thing about it. It's obvious that a lot of these games were not ready by the time Switch had to launch.
Some
and the
of them
only
don't
major
have
thing
names.
some of them don't even have any names. They're still rumored for, like, Nintendo's involvement with Ubisoft for that strange title. There's still potentially a Pokemon game that's going to be coming out, but we don't even know any of that. For God's sakes, I thought this Mario game was going to be a launch title, and it's simple, you know, like, that's a no-brainer. Having Mario at launch and then just having things... I mean, hell, this system would have been a lot more appealing, and it would have been day one for me if they did not have this presentation in the style that they did. If they had it like in a direct form where it's like, oh, okay, you can have Zelda and Mario at launch, you know, with all this different stuff. I would have been able to pre-order and get everything else, my ducks in a row, and I would have got the Switch day one. That would have been awesome. Because I have 2 great games I can experience for like a couple months until like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe coming out in the later April. And then like Splatoon 2 in the summer. You know, that's a lot of fucking gaming content and goodness. But instead, we have one major game, a couple other games that I could just play somewhere else, like say on the Vita or the PS4 or the Xbox One. Okay, maybe 1 or 2 different types of games at the end of April or something like that. They don't even have a major first-party game released like once like a month in terms of like their AAA stuff. And that's very frustrating and a missed opportunity. You want to fucking have your console succeed? Release just balls to the wall. Release all your shit.
Yeah.
I'm tired of waiting their fucking games.
Yeah. Yeah, the whole thing is frustrating.
Yes.
In the end. Yeah. I mean, like, you know, I'm getting the Switch at launch.
Yeah.
And I know you're gonna get the Switch eventually. I imagine closer.
I'll get the Switch eventually. When it's the most convenient time, I'll probably get one.
Yeah. And honestly, at this point, you know, just kind of watching the Switch thing, it's just like it's just a big disappointment. It's almost like at this point, man, it's just like I hope I kind of as much as I love Nintendo and I want to see them succeed. It's just it's like. I would almost just rather play these games like on a PS4 and Xbox One. You know what I mean?
To be perfectly honest with you, I really got a dark feeling that this system may be the last Nintendo console.
Yeah.
I had that initial thought. I've never had that thought. Not even when it was low as Wii U, but with the Switch, they have not learned from their mistakes of the Wii U. They are desperate. They don't even have established third-party like companies in talks with their systems in terms of releasing like all this breakneck content. I mean, yeah, you have EA, you have Atlas doing their random like niche like Shin Megami Tensei game or something like that. You have Square Enix with 2 MMOs and stuff in Dragon Quest 10 and 11, which, well, you know, that's not enough. I mean, for God's sakes, you only have the major like publisher in EA just doing FIFA, and they don't even have, like, other third parties. They look at it a financial perspective as, like, why would they invest inside of a Nintendo console if they know they're not going to be making the profit from selling their key franchise things on that system? Hell, even Ubisoft, who's been a major supporter of the systems like the Wii and the Wii U, they have Rayman Legends at launch. That's like a 3 or 4 year old game now.
Yeah.
A 3 or 4 year old game that's already sold and already had a lot of its profits. And that was initially a Wii U exclusive. And they spread it out because they knew when the Wii U was bombing in sales that they could get more profit by putting on the PS4, putting on the Xbox One, on the Vita. Hell, even like for companies, say like Square, like even like companies like say like, oh my gosh, Sega. Let's just talk about Sega here for a second. Them not even having any type of game really to announce what they're developing in, especially from a company that just says like, what, okay, the major thing they had is Sonic, right? Sonic Mania, that's sort of a new game and stuff, but there were not a lot of new games from third parties that are developed exclusively for this system. Or not even like the basic games that would release in a core year, you know? No confirmed for Battlefield. No confirmed for, like, say, Call of Duty or all these franchises or, like, Assassin's Creed where, yeah, they sell on other consoles. They sell well on other consoles. But you kind of need those sort of consoles, those system sellers in order to make your console successful. You need those type of games. And the fact that they have not even got it down even 10 years after the initial success of the Wii, you know, that is really depressing.
I agree.
Oh, but, whew, we've spent pretty much close to an hour talking about this. Oh my gosh. I'm trying to think of what else to say, you know, it's like, I mean, this is not the end of, like, the world. I mean, hell, if, say, it turns out maybe next month or something colossally awesome happens with the system or something to make it more appealable and stuff, then yeah, I do it. You know, I purchase it, but...
Yeah, you're right. It's definitely a salvageable situation. I guess we're being a little too much doom and gloom tonight, but, yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe the correct course down the line, but so far, not a good first showing. But I think I'll wrap up the show this week. Thank you guys so much for listening to my drunken rambles, and Gables and I. But if you guys want to hear more from us, we're on Facebook. We have a page and group, so check us out on there at GenGaming Podcast. So like and join. On Twitter, we are at GenGaming Pod. Follow us on there. On YouTube, we are Generation Gaming, so like our videos and subscribe. Really appreciate that. And then also on Twitch, we are GenGaming Podcast, so follow or subscribe, whatever you do on there. Justin's on there pretty much every night now, streaming some games, so check those out, and have a good night.